Now at 10, the search for a suspect in a Baxter Springs shooting investigation. What the rising cost of construction means for the Joplin School District. And what the Kansas governor says about a $650 million biotech project coming to the state.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The Cherokee County, Kansas Sheriff's Office says the suspect in a Baxter Springs shooting should be considered armed and dangerous. This is KOAM News at 10. An arrest warrant was issued this afternoon for 38-year-old Sean Houston. He's wanted on allegations of attempted second-degree murder. Shortly after midnight, deputies were dispatched to investigate a shooting west of Baxter Springs. According to the sheriff's office, emergency medical personnel transported a man to a Joplin area hospital for non-life-threatening injuries. In their investigation, detectives identified Houston as a suspect. Anyone with information about his location should contact the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office. The Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation says a suspect waved a bow and arrow at law enforcement in a, quote, threatening manner in Craig County, in a Craig County officer-involved shooting. The OSBI says that dispatchers were called about a chunk of concrete on the railroad tracks. That was at 4400 Road this morning. Veneta police officers and Craig County deputies responded and found tracks in the grass from the railroad to a tractor on nearby property. Agents say the officers found Guy Walker going in and out of his house on the property. When the investigators approached, they say he pulled out the bow and arrow. A deputy and an officer both fired at Walker after he started waving the weapon around. Walker died at the scene. No officers were injured. State investigators in Kansas have identified a woman killed in an exchange of gunfire. The Kansas Bureau of Investigation says 32-year-old Andrea Barrow of Arkansas City was killed Friday in Cowley County after she pulled out a handgun as deputies tried to remove her from a vehicle. 3 deputies were shot. 2 are recovering at home tonight. At last report, a 3rd remained hospitalized in good condition. Doug, Hetty, we're expecting some frosty weather tonight.
Yeah, temperatures are going to drop back right around freezing or just above. So, of course, we are going to get frosty conditions across the region, which we don't like to get this deep into April, especially all the red buds are going, trees are starting to bud, a lot of plants and all that stuff, wonderful stuff, already outside. 70 is where we should be topping out today, 59, but you can see the freeze advisories, the frost advisory. So most of the region is under some kind of advisory through the overnight hours. Clear skies, not too much going on, just clear skies, light winds, cold temperatures as we go through the overnight hours. Anywhere from low to mid 40s for most of us at this point in time, but those temperatures will start to drop quite a bit more, especially as these winds start to diminish a little bit later on tonight. Of course, we're going to look at the rest of the week. Some thunderstorm chances all coming up here in just a bit.
See you then. An afternoon fire destroyed a home and more in Columbus, Kansas. Happened at Northwest Orchard Lane and 6th Street. In addition to the house, 2 storage trailers were destroyed. Columbus firefighters say no injuries were reported. An investigation is underway after a late-night house fire in Webb City. Just before 11:30 last night, Webb City Police, Fire Department, and Met's ambulance responded to a 911 call at 614 North Walker in Webb City. Orinoco Fire and Joplin Fire were called in to help. Authorities say the resident was not home at the time. Firefighters brought the blaze under control shortly after midnight. Missouri State Fire Marshal was requested to assist with that investigation. Inflation has sent prices up on a number of items, and construction supplies are no exception. The National Home Builders Association says building material costs have risen just over 20% year over year, and they're up 31% since January of 2020. Officials at Joplin schools say they closely monitor those costs for their building projects, like the new Dover Hill Elementary.
Between the school district and the architect and Crossing Construction, we worked hard to encourage all of the material vendors to make sure that they immediately placed orders for material to either store on site or to store off site so that you can ensure that you got the best price at the time.
There's some encouraging news. The National Home Builders Association says steel mill prices have declined nearly 10%. Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt hopes to lure a company that could bring tens of thousands of jobs to the state. At a news conference today, the governor said he's asking lawmakers to expand the Oklahoma tax incentive program to entice companies that bring high-quality jobs to Oklahoma. Stitt did not identify the specific company he's trying to lure, but indicated it's in the car manufacturing industry and that it would provide a lot of jobs.
In land, some of these major companies and these major manufacturing facilities, it will have a generational impact on the state of Oklahoma. Some of the studies and the research that we've looked at can show a company of this size can create up to 70,000 direct and indirect jobs.
Stitt says the company could build one of the biggest factories in the nation. Kansas is also getting new jobs, in this case courtesy of a new big biotech project coming to Manhattan, Kansas. The facility should also help improve our nation's ability to respond to future pandemics. Reporter Danielle Martin explains.
He's all ours. 5 years from now, Manhattan will not be the same.
Governor Laura Kelly announced a $650 million biotech project in Manhattan on Monday.
In fact, today's announcement is the largest capital investment project in our state since the start of my administration in 2019. The unique mix of assets here provide the perfect ecosystem for companies like Scorpion to thrive.
The press conference featured federal, state, local, and Kansas State University officials. The new project involves a 500,000 square foot Manhattan facility. Scorpion Biological Services, a subsidiary of Heat Biologics Incorporated.
Put Manhattan right at the heart of our country's response to tomorrow's pandemics and global threats. In addition, the skill and the strength of the Kansas workforce will be a critical part of your success. And Scorpion's important mission will call Kansas's bright minds and hard workers to join the effort.
And that is really provide and build commercial scales facility that's built around this mindset of developing drugs quickly, efficiently, rapidly for the people who really need them.
The facility will support the development of vaccines to address potential threats to public health.
The pandemic really opened our eyes to how difficult it is and the lack of capacity to manufacture new drugs in a time of need. So we really decided to go in there and do something about it.
The project promises to bring 500 new, high-paying jobs to the Little Apple.
It feels really good. That is our goal, is growth. And so creating jobs, attracting talent, retaining talent. Obviously Fort Riley and Kansas State University will play a major role in our talent pipeline for this project and others like it. And so it's really exciting, and I think we've got great partners that help support these types of projects.
Senator Jerry Moran says this project will help keep citizens safe.
Is the ability for us to make certain that we develop the necessary tools for our citizens' health and well-being, and the more we can distance ourselves from China and China-made products, the safer we will be.
Senator Moran says this investment is not related to the Apex incentive package lawmakers approved earlier this year that was proposed to attract a business with $2.5 billion of new revenue to the state. Up next, the mask mandate on public transportation. A judge rules on whether it should end. Plus, what North Korea claims about a new round of missile tests. A federal judge in Florida has voided the national mask mandate covering airplanes and other public transportation as exceeding the authority of U.S. health officials. That decision today also said the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention improperly failed to justify its decision and did not follow proper rulemaking. The CDC recently extended the mask mandate until May 3rd to allow more time to study the BA.2 Omicron subvariant. The Justice Department today declined to say whether it will appeal today's ruling. Russian forces today launched missile attacks on the western city of Lviv. The city has become a safe haven for those fleeing the war in other parts of Ukraine. It also has become a major conduit for NATO-supplied weapons and for foreign fighters joining the Ukrainian cause. The attacks there and elsewhere came as Moscow was redirecting most of its ground forces to southeastern Ukraine. North Korea claims it successfully test-fired a new type of nuclear missile over the weekend, just before the U.S. and South Korea began a joint military exercise. The North's official news agency released a photo claiming to show the dictator Kim Jong-un celebrating the test. Reporter Elizabeth Palmer has more.
Official North Korean pictures show the launch of what South Korean analysts say were 2 short-range missiles, at least one of which landed on a tiny rocky island. Kim Jong-un is among the observers, looking especially pleased. We've seen variations of this, the launches and the happy leader, every few weeks since January. They may have a cartoon quality, but they're deadly serious.
North Korea continues to pursue a ballistic missile program that, at least we think they believe, will help intimidate and threaten our allies and partners in the region.
On Friday, there was a huge parade in Pyongyang on a public holiday to mark the 110th anniversary of the birth of North Korea's founder, Kim Il-sung. Unusually, the only weapons on show were neon-lit models. But behind the spectacle, preparations were already underway for the very real weapons test with ominous overtones.
Rather than showing any willingness to sit down in good faith and negotiate and talk and use diplomacy, the North continues to conduct tests.
It's not the hardware that's got alarm bells ringing this time so much as the rhetoric. North Korea is saying that these missiles are meant to carry nuclear warheads, weapons that they already have. And the analysts think we're going to see another nuclear test sometime very soon. Elizabeth Palmer, CBS News, Tokyo.
This is the 12th North Korean missile test in 3.5 months. A little bit later, the Nose Knows, a meet and greet for a local canine team.
Plus, we have some chances for thunderstorms over the next few days. We're going to look at that coming up. Well, at least we got the sunshine outside today. Still kind of chilly. High temps right around 60 degrees, but better than what we saw over the past couple days. Looking at this week, plenty of chances for rain, even some showers, some thunderstorms. At least our temperatures will continue to warm up over the next few days. We do have some severe chances, fairly low, but severe weather chances over the next, about 48 hours or so, especially on Wednesday. And then going up a little bit later on this week. Of course, you can always get my long-range forecast on my month-long blog, KOAM newsnow.com. Nice shot. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Of course, Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri. Temperatures yesterday, not good. Only into the upper 40s. Temperatures today, okay. Upper 50s to near 60 degrees, but at least we did get the sunshine. Now we're starting to drop back. Most of us low to mid 40s. We'll bottom out low to mid 30s later on tonight. At the airport, still sitting at 49 northerly winds, light humidity low. So with the low humidity, it's going to allow our temperatures to really drop. All right, let's take a look at this. We do have a freeze advisory. This is the light blue. Colors are bluish, and then in the purplish is all a frost advisory. It does not include our far western counties, but majority of the region, you're going to get a frost by the time we head into the daytime hours for us tomorrow. So if you do have any plants that can't take it, cover them up or bring them back inside, like I'm sure you have done several times over the past couple weeks. But we do have clear skies, some clouds building out to our south and to our west. Those will start to roll in by morning. There's our next storm system, Pacific Northwest. Ahead of it, it's kind of shooting little weak waves, and we'll see one of those weak waves work on through for us tomorrow. All right, look at the temps. Hovering right above freezing by morning. Clouds increase during the daytime hours. Humidity at the surface is still pretty low, so a lot of these showers may not reach the ground, but they'll pick up a little bit by the afternoon, so we'll have scattered showers, maybe a thunder shower, especially north of I-44 tomorrow. We'll get a little batch mainly south of I-44 tomorrow night. Not expecting anything too strong or severe, but late tomorrow night, we'll get a batch that kind of rotates through most of the region. Those could be a little bit stronger, maybe low-grade severe. Hit and miss showers during the day on Wednesday, Here comes our cold front now along the front. So here's 5 p.m. These storms will try to pop up. They're going to try if we can get enough sunshine. If they do pop up, they'll be a little bit stronger. Again, maybe low-grade severe. All right, front sinks south. Thursday it turns around, heads north. Scattered showers and thunderstorms. Most of the severe weather will stay to our north. Friday looks great. We're going to have a nice capped atmosphere, meaning no storms can pop up. We'll go into lower 80s. And then here come thunderstorms again, trying to pop up late Saturday. If we can get some of these guys ahead of the front to get going, those will go severe quickly. So we want to keep our eyes, especially late Saturday into Sunday. 62 tomorrow, hit and miss showers. 69 Wednesday, 75 Thursday, 82 on Friday. Friday's going to be great. It's just going to be windy.
Oh, wow. 82 on Friday.
It's pretty good.
Frost warning tonight.
I know. Isn't that crazy?
That
all
is
over.
A wild bounce.
Yeah.
It's been typical. It's been
It
like
is.
this for a little bit.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jack. Quapaw Nation Emergency Management Team hosted a meet and greet along with their K-9 team. The management team showcased the training that their K-9 unit goes through, such as trailing and air scent tracking. This event was open to all missing and murdered Indigenous relatives groups in Kansas and Oklahoma. The unit aims to be a resource to those groups.
AUG is a search multiplier, plain and simple, whether it's search and recovery or search and rescue. Their nose is an invaluable tool. A well-trained dog and handler team are going to give you an added benefit to it. We can cover a lot more area.
Still ahead, Riverton's Johnny Mallett retires after 5 decades as a head football coach. And Frontenac baseball aims to stay perfect, hosting one-loss Girard. Danny Terzer has the highlights and more up next.
Big softball matchup today, one that we've had circled on our calendars for some time now. 2 undefeated teams hit the field for a doubleheader. The 8-0 Frontenac Raiders host Girard today. The Trojans are a perfect 7-0. First inning, Emmeline Senecut gets a base hit up the middle. Then bases loaded, Bailey Troike hits it into the shortstop. Sarah Goebel scores. Senecut caught between the bases. Raiders tag her for the 3rd out. So they score 1 run in the inning. Bottom half, Abby Beeman finds grass in left. Heather Arnett, coming from second, scores to tie the game at 1. Next inning, Lexi Robinson gets her swinging to end the inning. As expected with these 2 teams, it's a close one. Girard hangs on, though, to win 5-4. Neither team makes it out undefeated in the nightcap. Frontenac earns the split. The Raiders take game 2, 8-1. The baseball teams are just as competitive. The Raiders enter the day undefeated. The Trojans have just 1 loss. Jeremy Rayo starts things off for Frontenac with a base hit out to left. 2-run score for the Raiders. Then Wyatt Foley finds a gap. Drake Brooks scores the tying run, 2-2. Extra innings here, top 8, Trevor Amershek drives 1 to left. That brings in 2 for the Trojans' lead. Girard hands Frontenac their first loss of the season, winning 6-3. Another red-hot softball team in Southeast Kansas is the Columbus Titans. The Titans are halfway through their regular season schedule, and they're 11-0. They've scored 128 runs this season, averaging about 12 per game. 7 of those runs have been home runs. Grace Major leads the team with 3. Their numbers on defense are just as impressive. Columbus has 4 shutouts and have held their opponents to 3 runs or less in all but 1 of their contests. Head coach Amy Saporito talks about the well-roundedness of her group.
Really, I think just the girls buying in and knowing that they have to be able to lay down a bunt and they have to be able to get a good solid hit. I know that our pitchers have stepped up as leaders, and all year long, off season, preseason, they've been working to prepare to be in the circle, and all of our pitchers want to have the ball in the circle all the time.
Columbus is back in action on Tuesday for a doubleheader against Pittsburgh. Riverton head coach Johnny Mallett is retiring. Mallett has spent 50 years coaching football in the 4 states, including 41 years between Riverton, Galena, and Baxter Springs. Mallett was named CNC Coach of the Year in 2004 and 2005. He was also a finalist for Kansas 2A Coach of the Year in both 2019 and 2021. This past season, he led the Rams to the program's most wins in 13 seasons. They finished 8-3 and were district champs and state quarterfinalists. That's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
Take time now to honor a couple of local veterans, both from Altamont, Kansas. They both served in our armed forces during the Gulf War. Bryce Overman in the U.S. Army, Brett Davidson in the U.S. Navy. Bryce Overman, Brett Davidson, 2 4-state heroes. Drivers might have done a little double take when they saw this on part of Route 66 this afternoon. That's because houses don't often run away from home. We caught up with this near Galena, Kansas. The 120-ton house didn't go far. Tilton and Sons house moving took it from roughly Riverton up to Chico Road, west of Galena, Kansas. And yeah, I know you see houses being moved from time to time, but it's kind of startling every time you do. You remember that old 80s song? You don't remember the old 80s song, My House in the Middle of the Street. Have you heard that song?
Maybe.
Okay.
I did live in that entire decade, so.
Yeah, well.
But I was a little pup.
I get it. Thank you. And no, forget Lenny, no way. All right. The weather is going to get cold tonight.
It is. We're going to drop back 33, 34 degrees. So frost across the region. Dodging showers tomorrow. Maybe a thunder shower. High temp, 62.
Final sports note.
Galena and Frontenac baseball go to extra innings. Really good one, but Galena comes away 6-3 tonight.
Very good. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget the morning show starts at 5 a.m. and let's make it a great tomorrow.